what do I do? I'm in a relationship, and what I want to know, what do I do while being in a relationship, or I'm not in a relationship, but I'm just a single person. You know, if I'm single and I get saved and give my life to the Lord, what should be my next step? I've given my life to the Lord, and now what do I do? Because one day I want to be married. One day I want to have a family. And maybe, you know, you're divorced, or you know, and I want to do it again one day. But what do I do right now? That's important, because I got a vision of this marriage. I got a vision of how I see things, and what I want to see, what I want to experience, and how I want my family to be. So what do I do to get there? We talked about this several times. We did a whole series on in the meantime. And what do I do in the meantime? In the meantime is during the time before something happens, or before a specific period ends. During the time before something happens, or before a specific period ends. In the middle, what do I do in the middle? I've gotten saved. I want to be married. What do I do in the middle? What do I do right now? Because I need a good wife. And I need a woman that's going to cook. And I need a woman that's going to submit. And I need a woman that's going to give me what I need. And I need a man that's going to be a leader. And I need a man that's going to be my Boaz. And need a man that's going to take care of me and that's going to love me like Christ loved the church. So what do I do now as a single woman who's given her life to the Lord? What do I do? Because I need these things in my life. And I need to be found, because the way I used to live my life, maybe I was doing it the wrong way, and I was trying to find somebody, but I'm not trying to find anybody now. I need to be found as a woman. The Bible said, he who findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. Not her who findeth a husband. You don't find him. He find you. Thank you, one person. Two, thank you. Thank you. So what do I do? What do I do in the meantime? What do I do? Because I want to get married, and make it's no secret. This is what I want. But what do I do right now? How do I prepare for marriage? How do I prepare for this life that I really want? And it's 10 o'clock. We'll finish next week. All right. How do I prepare? The first thing, it was in Matthew 6:33, but seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. In other words, I need to stop looking at the next person and look at myself. I got to start working on me, because I'm looking at how I want my wife to be, or how I want my husband to be. But I need to look in the mirror and say, what do I need to do? How do I need to be? So how do I, because people ask the question, how can I find the right one? Or how can I be found by the right one? It's a better question that should be asked. How can I be the right one? See, instead of looking for the right one, I need to start being the right one. So it's not about the right one and me finding that person. It's let me focus on being the right one. And when I am the right one, then God can bring the right one into my life. But I'm so focused on the right one that I'm not focused on me being the right. I gotta be the right one. It's very hypocritical of me to ask for somebody to be faithful to God, and I'm not faithful to God. To ask for somebody to go to church faithfully, and to be a faithful tither, and to be a faithful leader, and to be, you know, he's committed, and he knows what he wants, and he's a leader, but I'm lazy, but my spending habit's bad, but I'm cussing folks out, but I'm talking to other people that I know have no potential of being a spouse, because I'm doing this in the meantime until God send me my husband. Y'all ain't gonna church with me. So I'll get it right when God send me the right person in my life. So until he send me the right person in my life, I'll just play some little games. Until he send the right person in my life, I'll just talk to people that I know have no potential of being a spouse. Until he send the right person in my life, it's okay to just casually date and to go out with people. It's okay for me to watch these things just inappropriately, because, you know, I hadn't found the right one. And when I find the right one, that's when I'll be the right one. But the devil is a lie. You got to be the right one. before you can expect the right one, because it's hypocritical. How do you have these expectations of somebody else that you don't even have for yourself? You want him to be this person and him to be, I want him to be, oh, I want him to be this, I want him to work out, and you don't do this and you don't work out. But these are your expectations of him. Or vice versa. I want her to be saved and I want her to go to church and I want her to be abstaining. But you're not abstaining. Now, when I meet her, I will. That is a myth. We talked about that before, the destination myth. When I get there, that's when I'll do it. When I get married, that's when I'll change. When I get married, that's when I'll stop watching pornography. When I get married, when I get to this place, no. And that's not how God works. God look at you. Can you be faithful right here, right now, where you are? And if you can be faithful where you are, then I can trust you later on. I can trust you in the destination if you can be faithful in the moment. So a lot of times we don't be faithful in the moment. So I got to stop looking at being found by the right one, and I got to start being the right one. I got to be the right person. I want her to be on point. I want her to be submissive. I want her to be all of that, but I'm not submissive. I want him to be responsible, but I'm not responsible. I want his money to be on point, but I'm spending every which way. I got to stop focusing on what I want in him and start focusing on what I need to be in God right now. That's too hard. See, I get it. That's too hard. I had to get to a point in my life to where I had to pull back and say, I am not ready right now to be married because I was a good dude. I was an okay dude, but I really wasn't all that God really called me to be. See, it come a point in your life where you have to say, let me pause. If I got married right now, could I afford a place to live? If I got married right now, could I not just afford a place to live, but could I take care of my family? If I got married right now, I mean, where am I financially, men of God? Where am I spiritually, men of God? I know I want a woman. I know I desire to be married. There's some things that I want to do to her, but am I really ready to be somebody's covering? Am I really a true man, or am I operating like a little boy? And if I'm still operating like that because I just got a job or just got out of school or still in school, it's okay. I'm not ready right now. I need to focus on being the right one before I go and find the right one. Yeah, I know. Thank you. Hey, and sometimes that's tough because you want somebody to come and make you complete. And I told you before that your spouse is not going to complete you. Your spouse will compliment you. And you'll have a rude awakening when you get married and you think that this is the destination and your life is going to be peaches and cream because you have found the right one or you've been found by the right one. If you are not whole in your singleness, you're not going to be whole in your marriage. It is not going to happen. You better ask somebody. You think that you can be miserable in your singleness and the light switch is going to just turn on once you get married. If you're miserable now, you're going to be miserable then. If you're happy now, you got to be happy in your singleness now. If you're happy in your singleness, then you can be happy in your marriage. You think somebody's just going to make you happy and take you out of your misery. Doesn't happen like that. You're expecting a person to do what only God can do. You need a transformation. You need a metamorphosis need to take place in you. And you have this expectation on this person. And you get married and say, he ain't doing it for me. She ain't doing it for me. No, he wasn't supposed to do it for you. She wasn't supposed to do it for you. God was supposed to do it for you before you got there. And you're supposed to add value to him or add value to her. See, some of us, we get married and we're not an asset. We get married and we become a liability to a person. See, you're not ready. For some people, you're not ready because you get in a relationship or you get married and you become a liability because they married you off your false advertisement. They thought that you were something that you're not. And now you become a liability. And it's like, my God, I didn't know he was like this. I didn't know that he was lazy. I didn't know that when somebody reprimanded him, he would quit and leave his family stranded. How am I God? And you become a liability to somebody. False advertisement. That's why you got to wait sometime. Don't be so quick. I need to know who you are. See, if we was in the process of looking for a house and I'm like, look, I didn't know you had to go through all of this and you got to, my God. Because they want to look, this is an investment and this is the contingency and this right here. I'm like, man, listen. Because we need to know what we're getting into. We need to have inspections. We need to know. I'm not just going to do it. I need to know you. I know you fine and you look good, but who are you? Who's your daddy? Who your daddy's daddy? Who's your daddy's daddy? I need to know what kind of diseases. I just got some questions. Because I value myself. And before I become one with you, before I buy this house, Dr. Ben, before I make this type of investment, some people think more in give. You look more into a car before purchasing a car than you look into a potential spouse. You look more into a house before you look into a potential spouse. I need to know who you are. Who are you? How are you when you get angry? How are you when you get upset, when you don't get your way? I need to know about your past. I need to do an investigation about you. I need to know, did you beat your women? What happened? I need to know about you. Did you cheat on your last relationship? Why did you cheat in your last relationship? I'm not going to hold that against you, but I need to know why. Was it because y'all had an altercation? Well, I need to know this. So what about if we have an altercation? I need to know who you are before I say I do to you. I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't know, y'all. I got to be the right person, so I can do one of three things in terms of being the right person. Jesus said, look, before you get the speck out of your brother's eye, look and get the sawdust out of your own eye. You need to get it out of your eye. You got to get the plank out your eye before you try to get the speck out of his eye. So you're trying to make sure that he's right, but you're not right. So you're trying to make sure that he on point, but you still got secrets. You still have things that you hadn't shared. So I got to get the speck out of my own eye first, and then I can see clearly what's in his eye. So I got to make sure that I'm on point and stop looking at him. I need to, because I'm not even going to be able to see clear because I'm foul. Y'all, I know, I get it. I'm not going to be able to see clear. I'm not even going to have a real perspective. My lenses are going to be blurry because I still got this in my life and still got this in my eyes. So I'm going to do one of three things. I'm going to be hypocritical and expect something of them that I'm not willing to do myself. Or I'm going to compromise and say, well, you know, everybody got something. Everybody got something. I know this is his past, but you know, everybody got something. Everybody got their thing. I got my thing and he got his thing. I got my thing and she got her thing. And so I'll compromise and lower my standards. Or I'll do what I'm supposed to do and get the speck out of my eye and understand that I'm valuable and I'm not going to compromise. I'm not going to lower my standards. This is the expectation. Not anything that's super crazy, but here are the expectations. And I'm not going to lower my expectations. I've been waiting for 2 years. I've been waiting for 3 years. I've been waiting for 10 years. I've been waiting for 50. However long I've been waiting, and I'm not going to lower my expectation because you came into my life. I need to know who you are. I'm not doing it. See, it's got to be some deal breakers. You got to see some things, and you have to have some standards. And it's got to be your smile is pretty, you look pretty, you handsome, you buff. But this is a deal breaker, and you got to know that before you come into the situation. Because sometimes you get into the situation and you become so emotionally connected to the person that you just, you overlook things that you shouldn't overlook. My Lord. You overlook some stuff that you shouldn't overlook because you were swept off your feet because, my God, he was the perfect gentleman. He had the perfect car. And he swept you off your feet, but you was already so attached that you couldn't see the forest from the tree. You couldn't see the issues because you were so involved. Sometimes you got to pull away and say, you know what, before I go into this situation, regardless of how she looked, regardless of how she smelled, regardless of how much money she made, here are some deal breakers. If you broke, no deal. Or whatever your deal breakers are, you got to have some deal breakers. If you've been married this many times, no, whatever your deal breakers are, you can't be so emotionally attached that you don't see it. These are some red flags. Regardless of who brings them, they're red flags. I don't care who you are. I don't care how you look. I don't care who hooked me up with you. These are red flags in my life, and I've been praying about this thing before you showed up. So when you show up, I'm not going to compromise that. Y'all getting some good stuff this morning, and y'all. Listen, I was about to walk away from Tori and I relationship. Matter of fact, I did. Tori was terrible with money. Listen, oh, she here? Tori was great with money, and but she spent it terribly. And listen, I would look, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, wait a minute. We're going to be in the po house if we roll like this. I'm like, we can't do that. She would do some stuff. It was one time she got a check. And she got a check. And she didn't even cash the check. She signed the check and gave the whole check to the church. I'm like, what's that? What you doing? Now, if God did something supernatural in you, and I'm with that, but wait a minute, you ain't got nothing. I just feel like giving. No, we can't give like that. You better tell me something. I mean, that can happen. You got to tell. Okay, all right, I see you finna. But it was like and then you get paid, and then this. I'm like, okay, all right, we got to do something a little different, and that was a deal breaker, because we're gonna be one. And my money is her money, and her money is my money. And if our money come together, we ain't gonna have no money. And we talked, and that was serious. That was a deal. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that. The spending habits, I am not doing it on the front end. I've waited too long. I prayed. I'm not getting into a situation like this. Lack of money or money problems, one of the number one causes of divorce, and I'm not setting myself up. I'm not doing that. Ann told us one time, she told me this, because she was like, well, you know, when we got back together, we was walking through some things, because it was still an issue. But God is so awesome. And my woman of God said this to me, because she knew that she wasn't good with money. She was like, you know what? This is how I'm willing to do our money. I'm committed to you, and once we married, I submit all of the resources that I have into you and allow you to lead the charge, and you tell me the direction that we're going to go with this money. I'm like, well, look at God. Because it was a deal breaker. And look, Ann would tell me this, because they thought I was cheap. I don't know why they thought I was cheap. And so my wife she's really a giver. And so I had to look at it a little different. And you remember you told me, you said, so she makes sure money keep on flowing because she gives and she's a giver. So she makes sure the money keep flowing. And I make sure that we're able to keep it and sustain it. So we can balance off of each other. Now, I need her to give to make sure the blessings keep flowing. She needs me to manage and to lead it to make sure that we have some and we have some to give. And when she said that, I'm like, my God, so the deal was back on the table. But you gotta know what are deal breakers for you. This is a deal breaker. I told you, listen, don't let nobody tell you that as long as he loves the Lord, that's all I'm looking. Don't you let nobody tell you that. I told y'all before that. I told you. You're going to be praying that he can pray the devil out. I told you that. He can pray. He can lay hands on the sick and they recover. My Lord. And the Spirit of God going to be in your house. But the spirit of ugly going to be in your bed. So you better get you better like how he look. He ain't got to be a 10 to her, but he need to be a 8 or some or 7 to you. Amen. You can have both of them. He ain't just got to be saved and ugly. And he ain't got to be nice looking and not saved. He can be both. Ain't got to be no 10, but this brother better know Jesus. And he better be appealing to your eyes. Amen? Let nobody tell you that. It's just, you shouldn't be looking at those things. The devil is a lie. I'm looking at all of it. Listen, you got to have some tough conversations. Not the first date. Don't scare the folks away, but you got to have some tough conversations as we progress. It's bank accounts. How much money? Listen, bank statements. We need to, when we get serious, it's bank statement. How do you do your finance? What do you believe about this? Do you want to have children? What do you think about you? How do you think about your stepchildren? Do you hate children? What is it that you want to see? Because if you marry somebody that look good and love God and he all of that, but he doesn't want to have any children, y'all gonna have some issues down the road if you want children. He already got 3 kids. He just don't want to have any more. But that's been your idea. You still want children. You have to consider that this may be a deal breaker for you. He don't like kids. Well, if you don't like kids and I got 2 kids, this is going to be a deal because they're not going to like you. And I'm not going to be in the house trying to choose sides of what I'm going to do. You got to like, you ain't got to be in the nursery and flipping them and all, but you got to be decent with kids. But I hate kids. No, you ain't the one then because I got kids. Let me stop. Now I'm finna go. So I gotta work on being the right one. Stop being so anxious. Stop being so anxious. You're trying to get to the next season. Embrace the season, Joseph. Embrace where you are right now. Master where you are right now. I gotta master this right here. You ain't mastering this, but you want that. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 32 to 38. Look what Apostle Paul said. I would like you to be free from concern. Listen, an unmarried man is concerned about the Lord's affairs. Yeah, I don't have time to unpack this right here, Dr. Ben. But it's me. I got to get better. I got to go back to preaching school. Because an unmarried man is concerned about the Lord's affairs, how he can please the Lord. But a married man is concerned about the affairs of the world, how he can please his wife. And his interests are divided. An unmarried man or virgin is concerned about the Lord's affairs. Her aim is to be devoted to the Lord in both body and spirit. But a married man is concerned about the affairs of the world. A married woman is concerned about the affairs of the world, how she can please her husband. I'm saying this for your own good, not to restrict you, but that you may live in a right way in undivided devotion to the Lord. In other words, he's saying, listen, as a single woman, your devotion should be unto the Lord. As a single woman, your focus is on the wrong thing. You're so focused about being married that you're missing what God's trying to do right now. As a single woman, your time is not divided. Because see, when you get married, your time is divided. My wife supposed to be going somewhere today, and she told me, look, this is what I'm planning on doing, or can I do it, or whatever. But it was how she told me. Now it was cool, but it was just, why I got to run this by him? It was a sense of that, like, why I got to run this by him? But she know that because I'm a married woman, so I have to run this by him. Same thing with me is I have to run. When I was single, I didn't have to run anything by her. When I want to go and hang out, when I want to go to the gym, I want to have an all-nighter, I just went as I please. I want to go out of town. But right now, I can't do what I want to do. I have to run it by her and make sure that she's okay with it before I go. And if she's not okay with it, guess what? Then I can't do it. But as a single woman, you should be all in the house of God. You should be all in worship. You should be spending your time with God. Can't nobody say, what you doing? Why you doing this? Look, I do what I want to do because I am a single woman and I answer to nobody but the Lord. So that's what Paul is saying, man. You should be all in. You can go to revival every night. You can do this. You can do this. But as a married woman, you're going to hear something from your husband. As a married man, you're going to hear something from your wife. You're spending too much time out there. When are we going to spend time? So Paul is saying being married is good. He's saying, but being single, use that time to be all in with the Lord. Because when God bless you, you ain't going to have that type of time. Use that time. Be all in. Be all in. Go to prayer. You need to be involved in, I'm in this ministry. Have priorities and have your stuff together. But you need to be involved. And as much as I can do for the Lord, I'm willing to do it. Find yourself busy in the kingdom. Said in verse 36, if anyone is worried that he might not be acting honorably toward the virgin he is engaged to, and if his passions are too strong and he feels he ought to marry, he should do as he wants. He is not sinning. They should get married. But the man who settled the matter in his own mind, who is under no compulsion, but has control over his own will, and who has made up his mind not to marry the virgin, this man also does the right thing. So then he who marries the virgin does right, but he who does not marry her does even better. A couple of things that you should ask before you get married. I need to see your credit score. But some of y'all ain't gonna do it, because I mean, that's too personal. I mean, that's his. I mean, that's her. No. Listen, we talking about a lifetime commitment. They ask you when you buy a car. They look up your credit when you buy, because they value their stuff. You got to start valuing your stuff. Never mind. What's up with your credit score? I need to know your spending habits. What you got in your bank account? What's your attitude toward work? How are you as it relates to submission? Are you in ministry? Do you do ministry? You see, you got. Are you lazy? You got to peep them. Now you can't just ask him, is he lazy? You got to see if he's lazy. You got to sit back. Some of us, we're in a relationship. You try to give your partner the answer because you don't want the real answer. So you try to just, this is what I like. If you tell me everything that you like, then I'm going to start doing because you told me this is what you like. I'm not going to show you who I am. Sometimes you just got to sit back and watch and observe. That's when you value yourself. I'm watching and I'm observing who you are. Man, these folk got me, man. Man, I can't, man. Oh, no. You got some submission issues, partner. Oh, man, I can't believe. Oh, you got an attitude. Tell me about the jobs that you had. Do you duck out of work? Do you clean your house? Are you faithful where you are right now? Are you complaining? Are you a man that act like a little wimp? Who are you? Women, are you a lazy woman? If you got children, do you take care of your children? Do you try to put your children off on other people? Men, these are the things that you got to look at. Are you late? What's up? What your mama say about you? What your mama? Before me and Tori got married, I interviewed her mama and her grandmama. What y'all think about her? You understand? They didn't know that they was being interviewed, because I'm saying we getting ready to spend the rest of our lives together. I gotta know, yes, you pretty and you look good, but we getting ready to spend the rest of our lives together. I needed to know, is granny crazy? Is your mama crazy? What are the tendencies that they have? Yeah, y'all, it may be funny, y'all, but I'm for real. I want to know. So we're gonna ask the tough stuff. We're gonna ask the tough questions, because I'm not finna sign on not signing on to this if it ain't right. Yeah, you lazy. Ladies, let me share something, ladies. A true man of God does not want a lazy woman. For old people, thank y'all. Find yourself doing something. Find yourself working. Find yourself cleaning the table. Find yourself sweeping the floor. Find yourself doing something. Find yourself serving. Don't just be sitting back and looking cute, because that communicates something about you. Find yourself. Put your hands to something. A true man of God want a woman that's not lazy, that's going to get up and that's going to do something. I thank God for my woman, because she's not lazy, and she gonna cook, and she'll clean, and she'll work, and if the truck gets stuck in the garage, she gonna get up on a Sunday morning and help me push the truck out of the garage. That's the kind of woman that. Never mind. When Boaz found Ruth, Ruth was working. When Boaz found Ruth was working. Ruth was doing something. Ruth wasn't lazy. Ruth wasn't just twirling her thumbs. She was working. She was working. When the man of God found that she was doing something, women of God, what are you going to be found doing? When God sent him, what are you going to be found? Find yourself working. Find yourself in ministry. Listen to this, Ruth chapter 2, verses 2 through 7. And Ruth, the Moabite, said to Naomi, let me go to the fields and pick up the leftover grain behind. Come on, y'all. Ruth, the Moabite, said to Naomi. She didn't wait on Naomi to ask her. Some of y'all, this all you came for right here. This is what you need. I've been a lazy woman. I've been an unwise, lazy little chick. Thank you, three. These are seasoned folks clapping. Come on, 20-some-year-olds and 30-some-year-olds. I'm trying to help you get found. Man, these young cats in here hungry. These young brothers in here, they meeting, they holding each other accountable. They on another level, and they getting some stuff, y'all, and they're not going to want no little lazy, little halfway doing, halfway sweeping, halfway trying to get out of work. They ain't going to want that. They ain't going to want it because something being put in them. They going to see that like, no, that ain't it because you lazy now. If you lazy now, you're going to be lazy then. If your room ain't clean now, the house ain't going to be clean later. If you're trifling now, you're going to be trifling then. You're not going to marry me and change. What I see now is what I'm going to see then. And it's going to be amplified times 10 then. Let me go to the fields and pick up the leftover grain behind anyone whose eyes I find favor. Naomi said to her, go ahead, my daughter. So she went out into the field and began to glean behind the harvesters. As it turned out, she was working. She was doing what? Oh, yeah, never mind. Let me hear you. Oh, my goodness. She said she wasn't twerking. She was working in a field belonging to Boaz, who was from the clan of Elimelech. Just then, Boaz arrived from Bethlehem and greeted the harvesters. The Lord be with you. The Lord bless you, they answered. Boaz asked the overseer of the harvesters, who does this young woman belong to? He choosing her. Who does this young woman belong to? She wasn't sitting still. Who does this young woman belong to? Who is this girl that's working belong to? Who is this hardworking woman? Who does she belong to? Who is this woman that's committed to Naomi? Who does she belong to? The overseer replied, she is a Moabite who came from Moab with Naomi. She said, please let me, this is her reputation. She said, please let me glean and gather among the sheaves behind the harvesters. She came into the field and has remained here from morning till now, except for a short rest in her shelter, in the shelter. So she was working. She came from the morning time until now, and she only rested a little bit, and then she went back working. She was a hardworking woman. She wasn't just sitting down looking for Boaz. She wasn't just sitting down waiting on Boaz. She was working while she was waiting on Boaz. While she was waiting to be found, her husband had passed and she was waiting to be found. But while she was waiting, she was working. While she was waiting, she was serving. While she was waiting, she said, I ain't got time to be sitting down. I got to work. And the man of God saw her and he inquired about her. Who is this woman? And her reputation preceded her. This is the one, her reputation. When they ask about you, what's up with her? Oh, yeah, man, she the real deal. Oh, she know the Lord. Oh, she can, man, she a prayer warrior. Oh, man, she on her game. Oh, man, look at her post, and not just her post, because see, a man of God want to see your post. What are you posting about? What are you talking about? Who are you? Who are you? Yeah, let me keep going. Don't expect something different after the marriage. If he irresponsible before you get married, he going to be irresponsible once he get married. If he made excuses before he got married, he going to make excuses when he get married. If he don't take care of his kids before he get married, he ain't going to take care of your kids once y'all get married. I want you to have some church with me today. If he does not take care of his kids, because it's the destination myth. You think that magically it's going to happen. See, leaders don't become leaders once they get a leadership role. Leaders are leaders when they're in a servant role. Leaders are leaders when they scrubbing toilets. Leaders are leaders. They leaders then. They just hadn't had the position. So it's a positional myth. Once I get in the position, that's when I become a leader. No, regardless of whatever position I'm in, I'm a leader where I am. Joseph was a leader, and he was faithful where he was. He didn't wait until he got to the palace before he became faithful. He was faithful in the prison. That's a leader. When we make leaders, we don't. Cherry, some pastors and some leaders believe that you make leaders based on the potential that they have. So I'm going to choose you based on the potential. You're not there yet, but I'm going to make you a leader. And once I make you a leader, I'm hoping that you become there. So we need a worship leader, and you're not faithful, but if I make you the worship leader, then maybe you'll become faithful. It's not good leadership. It's not good leadership. What I want to do is find who's faithful right now. Who's faithful when they're singing in the background? who's faithful when it's a Sunday where they don't sing, but they still coming to church. That's the one. That's the one that can lead because you're faithful right where you are. It didn't take the position to make you faithful. And some of us are saying that, look, you know what? Maybe once I marry him, then he'll step up to the plate. Maybe once I marry her, then she'll step up to the plate. It is not going to happen. If he's not stepping up to the plate in his singleness when he get married, he really ain't stepping up to the plate. I want you to get that in your spirit. He's really not going to do it. It's got to be before. I got to see it in you now. I'm not marrying your potential. I'm marrying who you are right now. You got to be focused. You got to be a man of God. I'm not asking you to be perfect, but I'm asking you to be complete. I'm asking you to be whole right now. And that is not asking for too much, women of God and men of God. I'm not waiting on you. I'm not, well, maybe. I'm saying, I done seen it too many times where they got, maybe if you put them here, they'll become faithful. No. If they ain't faithful now, they ain't going to be faithful then. They'll be faithful for a season. It's not going to happen. So you got to see it right now. I see it right now. And I see, listen, if he's not a communicator now, then it's going to be 25% less of a communicator once he get married. 25% less. That's what statistics say. It's going to be 25% less. So if he's not talking now and he look mysterious now, in your singleness, now he gonna irritate the mess out of you once y'all get married because you don't say nothing. What are you thinking? What's going on with you? You thought it was cute at first. No, now it ain't cute. You won't say, I don't even know what you're thinking. How can I love what I don't know? I don't even know you. So I got to see it now before you get the promotion. It's going to be amplified. It's going to be amplified. He a hothead. I got to peep. If you're a hothead over there, you're going to be a hothead in this house. And maybe I have a teenager and we ain't going to coexist like that. I'm not hiring you based on potential. I'm not marrying you based on potential. Oh, we got to go now. 2 Corinthians 6, 14 through 18. So now I'm getting ready. Now I done took care of my business. I'm asking the questions, so now I'm ready to date. So this is what I got to do. Do not be yoked together with unbelievers. For what do righteousness and wickedness have in common? Or what fellowship can light have with darkness? What harmony is there between Christ and Baal? Or what does a believer have in common with an unbeliever? What agreement is there between the temple of God and idols? For are we not the temple of the living God? As God has said, I will live with them and walk among them, and I will be their God, and they will be my people. Therefore, man of God, therefore, woman of God, come out from them and be separate, says the Lord. Touch no unclean thing and I will receive you. He said, come out from among them. Come out. You got to come out. You got to separate. But some of us have separation anxiety and you don't want to separate from your friends. You don't want to separate from your little crew. You don't want to separate from your boyfriend or from your girlfriend. You have to be willing to separate from for a season. If you're not willing to do that, then you are not ready for where God is trying to take you. Whatever. If it is not lined up with God, I will step away for a season. Man, I was acting, and it wasn't I was acting stuck up, Tisa. It was just I valued my walk. I knew what I was bringing to the marriage. You understand what I'm saying? I knew that I was bringing value to the marriage. I knew that I'm going to add value to your life if we get married. And I see, you can say my standards too high, whatever you want to say concerning your situation. But I knew that when I get in this marriage, you're going to be better. When I'm in this marriage, our kids going to be better. We're going to be blessed. Some great things are going to happen. I add value y'all don't want to have no, when I connect with you, I'm adding value to you. I just believe there's something in me, not because it's something great about me. It's something great about who I serve. And I know my time and I know what I do and I know how I go before. So once we connect, it's going to be immediate value that's going to be added to you. So I protect that. Protect that. Can't date no anybody. Can't go out with no anybody. I cannot do it. I can't do it. Because you're going to benefit from the value that I add. You're going to benefit. Instantly you're going to benefit. Come on, church. Come on. You understand what I'm saying? And it ain't just because. It's because it's some groundwork, Lisa. It's some behind the scenes stuff that go on. It's some fasting and praying that go on. It's some denying myself that go on. It's some not going to the party that everybody else going to that go on. It's some saying no to some things that I want to say yes to. It's some killing my flesh that go on. It's some going before God, seeking his face. And so if you connect with that, there's going to be instant value added to your life. So why would I connect with anything? Why would I connect with a trifling woman? Why would I connect with a lazy woman? Why would I connect with a woman that just ain't doing nothing? You ain't trying to do nothing. You ain't trying to work. You ain't trying to be a minister. I'm not subjecting myself to them. Let me. Okay, we about to go home, y'all. They told me to park and be congested, so I got to get out of here. Oh, my Lord. 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Now, the matters you wrote about, it is good for a man not to have sexual relations with a woman. But since sexual immorality is occurring, each man should have sexual relationship with his own wife, not with Leroy's wife. With his own wife, and each woman with her own husband. And if he ain't your husband, you don't have sex with him. And if she ain't your wife, you don't have sex with him. The husband should fulfill his marital duty, this for the married folks, to his wife. And likewise, the wife to her husband. Listen, this is just one, I'm going to throw this in for y'all, so go home and just meditate on this, ladies and men. The wife does not have authority over her own body, but yields it to her husband. Bless the name of the Lord. The same way the husband does not have authority over his own body, but yields it to his wife. Hallelujah, Lord. Do not deprive, come on, Jesus, speak, Lord. Do not deprive each other except perhaps by mutual consent for a time. Come on, Shallon, play, tune me up. My God. So in other words, he said, do not deprive each other except perhaps by mutual consent and for a time. So when you say that you don't want it and I say that I want it, then I'm not in agreement with you saying that you don't want it. Talking about you fasting. I'm not in agreement with this fast. Come on. So that you may devote yourself to prayer. Then come together again so that, listen, this is the piece you got to get this there. Then come together again so that Satan will not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. So once we pull together and fast, we got to come back together so that Satan won't tempt us. So we need to be making it happen early and what? Come on, church. I say this as a concession, not as a command. I wish that all of you were as I am, but each of you has your own gift from God. One has this gift, another has that. Now to the unmarried and the widows, I say, it is good for them to stay unmarried as I do. This Paul, he said, it's good for you to stay unmarried, man. I do some mighty work for the Lord. He said, but if they cannot control themselves, they should marry. For it is better to marry than to burn with passion. If you got the I can't help it, you better go ahead and handle your business. Oh my God. Okay, maybe if you give me something soft, I'll start. I got to go, and I got a little bit more. My God. Oh, Lord. There we go. Just give me some, yeah. Then I'll get us out of here then. Jesus. Saints, don't ignore the red flags. Don't ignore the red flags. You can't be so emotionally connected that you don't see the red flags. I don't care how far in the engagement that you've gone. I don't care if you're getting ready to walk down this aisle. Save yourself the headache. Save it. Don't ignore the red flags. Everybody that come into a marriage, they come into a marriage with a certain amount of baggage. Because we sinners, y'all. You don't look for perfection. You don't have a standard up here that's like, come on, y'all. He got to be a virgin and he's 50. He may not be a virgin in 50. Can't have no kids, and he may have a child. I got my list. I mean, He may be in a bad season in his life, but it need to be just a bad season. And not this is you. This is your character. You're a vagabond. You're a beggar. You go from place to place. You're a manipulator. Don't ignore the red flags because you're a great lover, but you're a broke lover. Y'all ain't gonna go to church with me. I'm telling you what happened. You're an abusive lover. I gotta see the red flags. And I need to respond to the red flags and ask questions and stay there and press the pause button because I value me. Kim, I value me. No one gets married hoping to be miserable. But too many people, they ignore the red flags, mistakenly assuming that things will get better once they are married. You think that once we get married, it's going to be better. Once he starts serving, he gonna be better. Once we let him play, he going to be better. What's the deal with the mother of your children? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about your finances. Let's talk. Are you still lazy? Are you still married? Are you a homosexual? When was the last time you've been intimate with somebody else? How long have you been saved? How many partners? Let's have some conversation. I want to hear your testimony and sit back and wait. Well, I always, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been to church. What is your testimony? What was the moment that you were transformed? When did it take place? There needs to be a moment, because if you say that you was transformed, and I told you, you say you was transformed 10 years ago, but you got a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 7-year-old, I got some questions. Now, you may be able to communicate that, well, in this season, man, it was a low point in my life. I messed up, and I was just all over the place. But at least tell me that. But don't say that because see, your transformation and my transformation is too different. In essence, we're going to be unequally yoked, because if this is transformation to you, and you think it's okay for us for you to sleep around and you call yourself saved, we got two different ideas of what salvation really is. So you got some explaining to do. What's up with you in pornography? Well, I was talking to this man the other day, and he said, man, he got saved. And when he got saved, he wasn't having sex. He thought he was doing it. He thought he was in there. And he said that he started watching porn. And the guy that was holding him accountable checked him and said, man, you watching porn? He was like, yeah, I'm watching porn. That's straight. He was like, no, dude, you can't. You can't be on it either. The guy gets married, so now he got all these demons that he's fighting with. Even though I'm faithful to her physically, I'm cheating on her with Sarah and Lisa and Carol and all of these women that I've been laying up in the bed or the restroom or wherever my place is. This bed is for married couples. This bed, the Bible says that the bed is the marriage bed that's undefiled. So whatever go on in this bed if you married. But for singles that's not married, how dare we violate God and get in the bed of sin and ask God to bless it. Bless it, God. I messed up and I'm going to do it again. But bless it anyway, God. How arrogant are we to ask God to bless this? I got to commit that this won't happen again until I say I do. This won't go on again until I say I do. I recommit right now. I recommit my life right now to God. My body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, and I value myself. If I sin against God and sin and have sexual sin, I'm sinning against my own body. I commit to you, God. I'm not going to be thirsty and look to be chased by somebody and chase somebody. I'm not going to, that's not me. God, I'm going to wait on you, God. I'm going to do this the right way. My heart is transformed, and I will do this the right way. And no more in my life will I defile you, God. Will I violate you, God? I will not be in a bed, God, until I say yes to you. I will build safeguards. I will build safeguards. I will build safeguards. Whatever I need to do, I'm doing it because I honor you, God, with my whole being. I got to see the red flags. I'm sitting looking in the bed. Well, I'm not intimate with anybody, but I got this device that I can dial it up whenever I want to. And when those triggers happen, when I get disappointed, you got to get in touch with your triggers. You got to get in touch with your triggers. When I get disappointed, when I feel let down, when I feel like God is not with me, when I feel like God is not hearing me, when I feel lonely, when I'm lustful, it triggers something in me. And I go back to what I've been delivered from. The bed is undefiled, means uncontaminated. It's set apart. This bed should be set apart for marriage. And married couples, you should get in here more often and mess it up more often. Amen? Saints, let's recommit ourselves to God. Let's pay attention to the red flags. Let's not ignore it. You're a man, but you walk like a woman. I'm not saying that you roll like that. I'm just saying that's a red flag. See, or you're a woman and you walk like a man. We got to have some conversation. And you got to stop being so afraid of having conversation. You ready to become one with a person? Don't you value yourself enough? I got questions. What's your view of this? How do you see this? What do you think about this? If that irritates you, then maybe we shouldn't move forward. Stop being scared and you just trying to give them the answer because you don't want to hear the real answer. Sit back and let him tell you the real answer. Well, I used to mess with guys and if you okay with that and you forgive that and and you can deal with that, then that's okay. But if that's a deal breaker for you and you don't want any man that been with another man, then thank you, Lord, and move on. It's the last thing, y'all. If you decide to date as a Christian, make sure you allow some people to hold you accountable as a Christian. And allow a couple or some people who really know God to hold you accountable as you date. When you slipping, you ain't spending all your time with him. Pull back a little bit. It's okay to spend time, but you losing yourself. You over there too late. You need to have some people in your life, some Barnabases in your life, some Pauls in your life that you can share everything with. Baby, I done got real hot and it almost happened. It almost went down. You need to have some people in your life that you can share these things with that can hold you accountable. You get what I'm saying? Have that in your life. Not everybody, not anybody, but some people in your life that can help you. I had a friend to where, man, you got the password, you got everything. I give you a key to my apartment. You come in whenever you want to come in. Hold me accountable to this. I want to be what God has called me to be, man. Hold me to me. Hold me to me. Hold me to this. That's if you really want it. Some of you don't want accountability. You know what I mean? I'm just going to grown woman. No. Invite accountability. One young man told me the other day, we was having a conversation. And he was like, talking about what he was thinking about. And I love young men who operate like this. Oh, no. When I date, I'm not kissing when I date. We're not kissing until we get married. I'm like, man of God. I know I had 4 claps on that. But you, ladies, you want a man of God who said, I'm not going to touch you. I'm not going to grope you. You look good and you fine. But because I honor you, because I honor your body, because I honor myself, and I want to honor God. And when we come down here, the first time that I kiss, yeah. That's been on the kingdom level. So we just got to go to a different level. Come on, prayer warriors. Jesus, stand up. Y'all give God a hand clap of praise. Amen. That's just kingdom. That's kingdom living. Listen, it exists. It exists. It exists.